I go to way too many events and keynotes and meetings and things like that, and it's really getting difficult to keep track of all of the conversations that I've been having. Last week alone, I was at 4 different events. I was at GTC, I was at GDC, I was at an event for the company Convey, and I was at an event for the company's Fall AI and Minimax. I had so many different conversations and watched so many different like keynote style presentations that it was super difficult to keep track of all of the discussions I was having and all of the things that I was trying to learn at these events. So I decided maybe one of these AI wearables that I've been seeing tons of ads for would be the solution to this. These are little devices that you wear around your neck or as a bracelet, or you pin it to yourself, and it records everything and then uses AI to help you summarize and find specific points of the conversation later. But I'm a tester, I'm an experimenter. I didn't want to just test one. So while I was at these events, I decided let's test 5. So I got myself a B, I got myself a compass, I got myself a Plaud NotePin, and I got myself a Limitless Pendant. I also set up the Otter app on my phone to see if, well, could these just be an app? And so I went to these events armed with a pile of gadgets to test out. And over the course of the week, I tested them all, recorded various meetings and conversations and keynotes, played around inside the apps, and put them through the motions so that I can share what I found with you. So let's start with the compass. This guy here sells for $99 over at compasswearable.com. And we can see on their FAQ on their website that you get 10 hours of free recording each month with the purchase of your compass. And if you need more than 10 hours a month, you get unlimited usage for $14 a month if you pay yearly, or $19 a month if you pay monthly. Now, I'm going to cut to the chase on this one. I couldn't get it to work. Now, in full transparency, it could be user error, but out of all of the pins that I ordered, this was the most bare bones. It came with no additional accessories. It didn't even come with instructions. It didn't come with a QR code. Nothing. I opened the box. This was in it. I think it might have had a charging cable and nothing else. And well, one of the problems was by calling this compass, you're now competing in the App Store with every single compass app. And there are a lot of compass apps. I was eventually able to find it by searching out Compass Wearable, and I was able to download the app, which does seem to have a 4.6 rating and 21 reviews. So people seem to like it, which makes me think it was just user error and I just couldn't figure out how to make it work. There is a little button here on the side of the compass that you press to turn it on and off. You can also see that there's a microphone on the back and also a little LED light right up here in the corner that lets you know when it's on. And when I was using it, the little light was on, acting like it was recording. Now, when I open the app, it actually found my compass and I click connect, and you can see the app now shows that it is listening. I sat through an entire presentation that was about 45 minutes long, and when I was done, I pressed the button to end the memory. However, when I pressed the button to end the memory, it just got stuck on this screen and loaded and loaded and loaded forever. It never accomplished anything. I left it on this screen for a good 20 minutes while it just spun in circles and nothing ever happened. And now when I lift up to see past memories, it shows absolutely nothing. So I went over to the chat window and I said, what was the session about today? And it said, I don't see any transcripts in your memories. I tried it again at another presentation and got the exact same result. I just could not get this one to work. Again, maybe I have some settings wrong. Maybe it was user error. I have no clue. Now there is a mute and unmute button at the top. So right now when it's unmuted, it is actually listening and it could hear me right now as I'm talking. And yes, I do want to confirm I did have it unmuted during the presentation. Again, I don't want to say that this thing is junk or a scam or anything like that, because there are a lot of positive reviews. It just didn't work for me. All right, next up, let's talk about the Plaud NotePin. This one's a little bit more expensive. It sells for $152.10, which is apparently a sale from its normal $169. If we scroll down to the bottom of their website here, it is free to start. Every month you get 300 minutes or 5 hours of recording, but the free plan does not allow you to have conversations with your transcripts and use the app to essentially chat with the transcriptions that it saved. If you want to be able to ask AI, you've got to pay about $80, $660 a month billed annually is roughly $80. And now you get 20 hours a month and the ability to ask AI. And if you want to actually get full access where there's no limit to how much you can record, it is $20 a month billed annually, or $240. So while I do think these pins are a cool idea, they pretty much all have some sort of ongoing fee if you want to actually use it at a high level. If you're going to conferences at the rate I am, you're probably going to use it for way more than 5 hours, probably way more than 10 hours that the Compass offered. Now, I mentioned the Compass came with no accessories, no instructions, nothing like that. Well, the Plaud pin was quite the opposite. This one came with a little necklace hanger thing that you can unravel like this, and then it magnetizes to your necklace, and then you can wear this necklace around with your Plaud pin attached to it. The idea being that you wear this under your shirt, and then it just sort of magnetizes like this from underneath your shirt. It also came with this little magnet backing, so if you don't want to use the necklace, this magnetizes to the back also, and you can just clip it anywhere. So if I wanted to put this one under my shirt, I could just put that little magnet there and clip it to my shirt without needing the necklace. It also came with this little magnetized clip here. So just like the other magnet, this connects here and you can clip this wherever you want. And it came with this little bracelet holder too. So this thing just snaps in here and you can wear this as a bracelet, which was my preferred method of using this. I like to wrap this around my wrist and just wear it like a watch. It also came with this little charger here, plugs in through USB-C, and once again, this magnetizes to that, and you plug it in to charge. This one actually seemed to record pretty well. I did like it, but what I did also get from this one was a lot of accidental record. So to start the recording on this one, you touch and hold, and then you get a little vibration. You can actually feel it go zzz when it starts recording, and there's a red light on it to see that it's actually in recording mode. I tossed this in my backpack when I was done with one of the sessions, pulled it out of my backpack later to see that the red light was on it, and somehow it had accidentally started recording in my backpack. I also noticed that this one, the battery life wasn't amazing. I would wear it all day long, and then in the evening, I would try to record a conversation, and it just wouldn't start, and I realized the battery was already dead on it. In fact, the first day that I got to the event and I wanted to test this one out, I pulled it out of my backpack, and it had actually been recording in my backpack, and the battery was almost dead. So I actually couldn't use it on the first day I wanted to use it because there wasn't enough battery. I had to let it charge throughout the day. But let's take a look into the Plaud app. We can actually see that it's pulling in notes right now from when I was at the conference. And we have one here called NVIDIA's AI Strategy and Global Partnerships. This was from one of the presentations that I sat in on, and I wore the pin. Now you can see that I am on the Pro plan here, so I have 1,200 minutes a month to be able to use this. And let's go ahead and click into the meeting notes, and you can get an idea of the type of notes it takes. So first off, it thought it was an interview, which it wasn't. I was sitting in on a presentation. It saves the date and time. I could get in here and actually edit the location if I wanted to. So this was in San Jose, and I could plug in other details. Some of these notes are actually conversations that I was having with the person sitting next to me, like Google's presence in London and family and religion. But we can see how it summarizes all of the conversation. NVIDIA's strategic involvement in AI and partnerships across industries, AI development and infrastructure investments, and a final conclusion. The interview provides insights into NVIDIA's strategic focus on AI infrastructure, global partnerships, and technological advancements. And then down here, we have AI suggestions. Based on your recording transcript, there are some interview questions that can be optimized, and it actually suggests other questions I could have asked. But again, this wasn't an interview. I can also press play and we can actually listen back to the full audio that it recorded. It's not great quality. It's designed to be optimized for battery life, not for audio quality.
Can you buy this? I'm like, oh yeah, is that okay? And she's like, no, it's just don't buy things. I was afraid it was a fraud.
There, you can hear that was actually a conversation I was having with the person sitting next to me. For privacy reasons, I'm not going to play the whole conversation. It also creates this mind map based on the conversation that we can look around on our phone, and you can see NVIDIA AI infrastructure, interview information, viewpoints, conclusion, next arrangements, etc. So if I was to say, hey, maybe we should meet for lunch or something like that, it would have put that down here under next arrangements. But I have a little mind map. Let's see if I flip this here. Yeah, it doesn't go to horizontal view. It only seems to work in vertical view. So we've got the mind map, we've got our summary here, we've got the full word for word transcription. If you want to read it word for word, that's there. And then we've got an overview, which helps identify key events in your recording. So if I click analyze, it will analyze my recording. And about a minute later, I actually have the analysis here. The content primarily discusses NVIDIA's advancements in AI technology, focusing on their comprehensive AI solutions across various sectors, including cloud, robotics, as well as their strategic approach to manufacturing and infrastructure development. And then I can use this Ask AI and have conversations with the transcripts. How does NVIDIA plan to scale its AI infrastructure? Sure, let's use that question. It's reading the transcript for me, and well, it's giving me a network error for some reason. Let's ask something simpler. How many speakers were there? And well, I got another network error. And just to prove that my internet's working just fine right now, I'm running a speed test, and yeah, it's not my network. Now, although the chat functionality doesn't seem to be working quite properly, I really did like using the pin. I like all of the options for wearables that it gave me, like the bracelet and the clip and the magnet, and there's so many different ways to wear it. So whatever feels most comfortable for you, it's a pretty good one. Now, the next one I'm going to show you is probably my favorite. But before we move on, I want to talk to you about an AI agent. Check out this really cool one called Hostinger Horizon, the sponsor of today's video. Hostinger Horizons has to be one of the easiest ways to get a website or software project up within minutes. If I give it a prompt like create a modern and clean landing page to subscribe to the Future Tools newsletter, a newsletter focused on AI tools and news with over 200,000 subscribers, and submit it, in less than a minute, it created a really clean landing page that I can send people to join my newsletter. If I want to make changes, I just come to the prompt box and say something like, make it a dark mode theme and also ask for the user's name. It goes to work for me, and within seconds, I have an updated design that looks great. I got it to create this really clean looking tic-tac-toe game for me with a single prompt. And when I gave it the prompt, create a snake game with a unique twist from a standard snake game, make sure the design is clean and beautiful, it created this completely different twist on a snake game that has power-ups and a completely different design from what you'd normally expect to see from a snake game. It even added these red dots that going through it causes my snake to speed up whenever I go through one. Pretty cool, and it completely designed this twist on its own. And once your web app is done, simply click publish, and Hostinger takes care of the rest. It hosts it for you, it handles the databases for you. You can take this link and send it to whoever you want. You can connect it to your own domain name, all from within Hostinger. So not only does Hostinger make it super simple to build any web app, they take care of all of the rest of the back-end stuff like hosting, domain names, databases, all so you don't have to worry about it. So head on over to hostinger.com/Wolfe and use the coupon code Wolfe at checkout to apply an extra 10% discount. Thank you so much to Hostinger for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get back to it. Let's talk about the B. The B comes in as the least expensive option at only about $50 here. And just like the other models, the B also has a subscription plan. It says here, enhance your B experience with B Premium at $12 a month, which unlocks advanced search capabilities, access to specialized AI agents, custom templates to optimize how B works for your specific needs, and deep personalization options for your personal AI. Now, the B that you see here on this page is not actually the B that I used. They actually shipped me an early prototype. It was the same technology, but a different form factor. The B that I had looked like this one that you see on the screen. It was a little blue circle here. Now, I would show it to you in person and hold it up to the camera, and I'm sort of ashamed to admit this, but I lost it. It's in San Francisco somewhere right now. I do have the accessory still that it did come with. This one actually came with a little necklace that the B clipped into there, and it also came with a wristband that you can clip the B into and wear this around your wrist. It's very stretchy, and the B just goes in the little slot there, and you can wear it all day long. Now, I did find the B to have the best battery life. In fact, I didn't realize it was on. I had a hard time actually telling when it was on or off. I had it in my pocket for like 2 days straight, and the whole time I actually thought it was turned off in my pocket. I did not realize that it was on. However, when I looked at the B app, I noticed that it had been recording everything for 2 days. So as far as a device that's really, really good at just continually recording nonstop, all the time, paying attention to like everything, the B seemed to be the best at that specifically. And also, the issue with me not realizing whether it was on or not is probably solved in the new version. You can see that this version was a circle and the new version actually looks closer to what the Plaud looks like here. But if we look in the app here, we can see that it actually recorded a whole bunch of conversations that I didn't even realize it was recording. So on this main page here, I can scroll and we can see some daily memories. On Friday, March 21st, I finally turned it off, and that was the last time it ever recorded anything for me because I don't know where it ended up after that. And for each day, it writes like a little summary of the day. So if I look at March 20th here, we can see it titled it Real Estate Whispers Swirled, but today detachment felt like freedom. You had a brief, somewhat awkward encounter with two people discussing real estate investors today. They seem to be involved in that world, and one of them questioned why you were seemingly following them. You clarified that you weren't interested in all that, distancing yourself from the conversation. I have no idea what that's talking about. That didn't happen. It was most likely a conversation that was happening in the background between other people, and the B picked it up because that didn't happen. But then as we scroll further, you can see there was no morning conversations recorded. In the afternoon, I was questioned about interest in real estate investing. Again, didn't happen. And then in the evening, it recorded some conversations. Matthew discussed the potential of AI in content creation, particularly in film and games. Had a surprisingly eventful day, bowling a near perfect game. I didn't bowl that day, but I watched a YouTube video about somebody bowling a perfect game, and it picked that up because I didn't realize it was recording everything. You can see where in the city I was, and at 10:15 p.m. on Thursday, I recorded a rapid fire update on recent AI news from NVIDIA GTC, which if you saw my recent news video, yep, that happened. There's a couple days where I had it off. Monday, hobby shared, Italian address dispatched, a day of simple connections. Matthew spent time today discussing his hobbies, which include exploring AI tools, playing guitar, creating videos, attending conferences, meeting new people, and playing video games. He also had a request from Maria about a hotel address in Italy. His AI assistant efficiently located the address in his email and sent it to Maria. Again, that wasn't a conversation I had. That was a conversation that Maria and somebody else had while I was in their presence, and it recorded it as if it was my conversation. So again, this one is really, really good at sort of picking up everything you do throughout the day, but it's also not great at realizing like this is you and this is a conversation that's happening over here. At least this sort of prototype version that I had. Maybe the newer versions are better, but as far as like the apps go, I really think this is a nice, clean app. I really like how it sort of summarizes the day, has some key takeaways, has the atmosphere of the day, has locations of where I was, things like that throughout the app. It's pretty cool, actually. It also creates a to-do list for you. Now, I didn't create any to-dos. I didn't have any specific things I told somebody I would do while I was using this app, but it would create them in this to-do list. And it says we generated 13 facts based on the conversation summaries. You may review them and choose the ones you want to save. So let's see what facts it thinks it knows about me. Matthew was in San Francisco for the GDC conference and met with friends and companies. That was true. Matthew spent several days at the NVIDIA GTC conference in San Jose. Also true. Matthew is involved in the AI industry and attends AI-related events. That's true. Matthew is interested in AI developments and shares information on AI technologies. Matthew uses audiovisual equipment regularly. Matthew collaborates with someone named Nathan on a podcast called The Next Wave. It picked that up in one of the conversations somewhere. Matthew reports on technology and AI advancements via a channel and platform called Future Tools. Yeah. Interested in gaming industry, including AI and gaming. Is aware of upcoming developments by major AI companies like Google, NVIDIA, and Adobe. Matthew's interested in testing low-rated hotels and restaurants. Huh? No. Matthew has a YouTube video related to hotels or Airbnb reviews. No. Matthew likes to go to conferences and meet people. Yeah. Matthew plays a lot of video games. I mean, that's kind of like in the middle. I play video games, but sometimes I don't have time, so I don't play a lot of video games, but let's go ahead and save it anyway. So now it knows a little bit more about me. I don't know. I think it's a pretty cool app. I do like this app. It's the cheapest of the various pins and pendants that are available. The monthly fee seems to be one of the more reasonable ones as well. I think this one is decent overall, and I wish I didn't lose mine. I'll probably have to get the newer version. And then let's talk about the Limitless Pendant. This is really the newest one on the block. This one's interesting because it's like this little magnet that sort of looks like this, and then it sort of magnetizes together, and you can kind of clip it anywhere you want. I found this one to be sort of awkward because like you kind of have to clip it on your shirt or something and it just sort of looks weird all the time. It's also one of the more expensive options. If we come up to pricing up here, you can see it's $199 for just the pendant. Or if you want the pendant with an unlimited plan, it costs $399. So if you just get the pendant itself, then you get 20 hours a month for free. If you need more hours, it's $19 a month. And if you want unlimited hours, it's $29 a month. This one also didn't come with a lot of accessories because, well, it's magnetized and it's meant to sort of clip to things. It did come with this little like necklace thing, which is basically just string, and you could clip it around the string and wear it as a necklace like that. But that's the only accessory that mine came with. I also found the battery life on this one to be on the shorter end. I used it for a whole day. And then at the end of the day, I had to bring it back to my room and charge it if I wanted to use it the next day. So it had the battery life of about a day, but you would need to charge it like every night if you were using it every day. My biggest problem with it was honestly just the sort of lack of accessories. I like to wear things as like a bracelet, but this one, you either got to kind of clip it to your shirt. And I never wear button-up shirts. I always wear t-shirts. And so it's just weird to wear it as like a t-shirt hanger like that. So I ended up actually clipping mine to my little name badge that I wore during GTC and just walked around with it on my name badge. Here's a photo of me meeting Robert Scoble for the first time, and you can see it clipped to my badge here. By this point, I think the battery was already dead, so it wasn't recording the conversations anymore, but that's how I wore it around on the day that I was testing it. Now, if we take a look at the Limitless app here, it's a decent app. It's pretty bare bones, basic feeling. You can swipe left and right to go to different dates here. You can see there's my March 17th, nothing on the 18th, and I could click up at the top of the screen to get a calendar and see what days I recorded. I was recording on the 17th and 18th, and that was about it. Again, this was for testing. I wasn't trying to record my whole life. And you can see it sort of chunked it out and broke it up into different conversations. The speakers talk about the conference and then discuss an upcoming podcast. The speakers take a group photo and discuss camera equipment. The speakers discuss Jensen Huang conferences and dietary restrictions. And each one of these, you can see little sub bullets here for the conversation. So I can open up this one here and actually see the literal transcript of what we talked about in that portion. And then there's a little speaker button, which will actually play back the audio from that section. And of course, you can hear a lot of background noise. This was at a conference, after all, where a lot of people were talking. There's not a whole lot of extra features in here, though. You could jump to specific dates, you can collapse everything to keep it cleaner, and you can ask AI about the day. Who were some of the names mentioned in my conversations? Let's try that. And we could see some names here: Matt Lyon, David Campbell, AJ Tiagi, Yash Seth, Jensen Huang, Matt Wolfe, Nathan Lenz, that would have been Nathan Lands, Amanda Saunders was somebody that I interviewed that day, Igor, Maria. I mean, it got some of the names. Some of them I have no idea the context of them. And I don't remember talking about someone named Lion, but I could go back through and ask questions about my day pretty easily. Is this worth $200 to buy the pendant itself and then $20 a month to be able to do this all the time and make sure you have to charge it every single night if you want to keep using it? I don't know. I like this sort of clippy magnet, but I also find it hard to find places to use it. I wouldn't say it was my favorite overall, if I'm being honest. And then finally, we've got the Otter app. This is an app that you just download on your phone, and when you're sitting in meetings or conferences, you just set it next to you and let it listen. You can actually start using it for free. If we take a look at the pricing, in the free plan, AI Meeting Assistant records, transcribes, and summarizes in real time, and you get 300 monthly transcription minutes, although it's only 30 minutes per conversation. But then beyond that, it's $8.33 per month, and now you get 20 hours of monthly transcriptions at 90 minutes per conversation. And you don't have to buy another gadget to go with it. Now, the big downside that I see with this is you're probably not going to be wanting to use your phone while it's recording. So if I'm sitting in like a panel session at a conference and I have this sitting next to me recording it, I'm probably not going to be sitting here typing away at it and doing a bunch of searches because I don't want it to interfere with the transcription. I don't want it to pick up all the sort of tapping on my phone and things like that. It is also going to wear down the battery life on your phone while it's constantly listening and transcribing. But we can see, just like a lot of the other apps we looked at, it gives us a summary of the meeting we were sitting in. It gives us a nice, concise outline of the meetings that you might have been in. You can actually view the full transcript of the meeting you were in. You can press play and actually listen to the meeting itself.
Being able to use audio intelligence
You can even speed it up to all the way up to 3x speed if you like to listen to this stuff really fast. You've got AI chat where you can actually ask questions about the conversation. And well, it pretty much does the same thing as those other ones for things like meetings. It's not going to record your whole day like the Bee might or the Plaud might or the Pendant might. These are actually kind of designed to just record constantly and never turn off if you want. Otter, you're not going to do that. It's going to kill your phone's battery life and probably keep you from using your phone as much as you'd want to. But for meetings and sitting in on panels and things like that, it could do the trick. Now, there is another option that's slightly less AI-y, and that's just getting a recorder like this. You could get one for as low as about $30. And when you're sitting in a meeting or a conference, pull out your little recorder, hit record, and put it next to you. Now your phone is still free to chat with your friends or scroll Instagram or whatever while you're in this panel session, and you have a dedicated little device recording an MP3 file for you. Once you're done recording, you take it back to your computer, unload the MP3 files, and then you can toss them into something like Otter. Otter's free plan lets you upload 3 audio or video files for free before having to upgrade so you can see how well it does all the AI transcription for you. 11 Labs has a free speech-to-text converter where you can just upload an MP3 file and it will convert it to text for you. And 11 Labs allows you to do 2.5 hours per month completely for free. And then it's only $5 a month if you want 12.5 hours a month. There's also Assembly AI. That's another speech to text transcription service. You upload your audio file here, tell it to transcribe the file, and you've got a nice transcription that you could read through and throw into ChatGPT or Claude if you need a summarization. And with Assembly AI's free plan, you get $50 in free credits to play around with it inside of their playground. And if you need more, then it costs 12 cents per hour. Descript also has speech to text transcription, so you can throw the MP3 file into Descript. They give you 1 hour per month that you can throw it into Descript, and then beyond that, it's $12 a month if you want 10 transcription hours. And if you really know what you're doing and you want to build a little app, you can use something like OpenAI's Whisper speech to text or their brand new speech to text model, which is supposedly even better than Whisper. Connect the API to a little app that you build, throw your MP3s in it, and get a transcription made. Again, a little more technical, but it's something like ChatGPT or Claude can actually code up for you pretty easy. So just kind of recapping, if I'm thinking about the biggest downsides of all of these various pins and gadgets and pendants and all these things, is just having to wear it and then explain yourself. I'm not trying to hide it and record people's conversations without them knowing about it. I want it to be in an obvious place so people know that I might possibly be recording, but then that also brings up a lot of awkward conversations of like, what's that device? And then I tell them, oh, this records my meetings and conversations. And then they're like, oh, so you're recording me right now? And I'm like, well, yeah, but I didn't say your name, so it doesn't know who you are. And they're like, oh, well, I don't mind, but don't most people think that's weird? And you just get into these weird conversations. That's the most awkward part about having these types of things clipped to you wherever you keep them. The other downside is that they're all fairly expensive, right? You know, the Bee is only $50, but beyond that, the rest are all over $100. And then you got to pay a monthly fee on top of it to get the transcriptions made. And then the third and final problem that I have with some of these is that you got to remember to keep them charged. At the end of the day, when I was at all of these conferences and meetings, I had to go back to my hotel room and plug in all these devices. Now, you'll probably only have one, but I went and plugged in all 4 of them so that I could continue to play with them all and test them all. And of course, the final problem is that a lot of these things are small and easy to lose. I know from experience, I am not somebody that loses a lot of things. That's never really happened to me before, but somehow I managed to lose my Bee because it was about the size of a quarter. I probably pulled it out of my pocket and set it down on a table or something and then walked away and completely forgot about it. That's more on me. That's not really a complaint towards the Bee or any of these companies, but they are small and they are easy to forget and leave lying around places. If I had to choose, if I had to pick one, probably leaning a little bit more towards the Bee, because the Bee seemed to be able to record constantly for multiple days in a row without me even realizing that it was still recording. And also, as far as pricing goes, it's only $50. It's the cheapest of the lot. I really like the app. I think it's clean. I like how it gives me a sort of 1-sentence summary of my day. The biggest downside of it is that it did pick up a lot of things that wasn't my actual conversation. It picked up a lot of conversations that were going on around me, thinking thinking that it was part of my day and my conversation. The Plaud seemed to be a little bit better at honing in on me and listening to what was coming from me and less of what was coming from other conversations around me. So that's why it's kind of a toss-up, but probably leaning a little bit more towards the B, because some of those things are probably either already worked out or will get worked out with some firmware upgrades. And there you have it. There's my experience playing with all of the various AI pins and pendants and compasses and necklaces that I can get my hands on during some conferences and figuring out which ones I like the best. Hopefully you found this helpful. Hopefully it makes it easier for you to make a decision about this kind of thing. And I had a lot of fun making this video. If you like videos like this, let me know. I'll make more of them. I like playing around with gadgets. And if you want to stay looped in on the latest in the AI world, make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel, and I'll make sure more videos all about the latest AI news and tools and cool workflows show up in your YouTube feed. And be sure to check out futuretools.io, the place where I curate all the cool tools and all the best AI news that I come across. There's a free newsletter. You sign up, you get access to the free AI income database, a database of cool ways to make money using various AI tools. It's totally free. And you'll also get access to the AI newsletter, where twice a week I send you just the most important news and coolest tools. I'm also working on a Future Tools overhaul that should be rolling out sometime in April, so I'm super excited to show you what I've been working on. We're not just going to have software, but it's also going to curate cool gadgets like these, and people are going to be able to leave reviews and things like that on them. Should be a really, really cool upgrade, and I'm excited to finally roll that out. But that's what I got for you today. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, nerding out with me. I had so much fun, and I really, really appreciate you. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.